Hello and welcome back to the support group series. I'm so sorry. It has happened like I had my intro and then I did one and then it's already right now the 13th of March. It's only been a month since I did one. That was not my intention. There's been a lot of issues with my computer and then I was really busy the weekend. There's footage coming for that, so it's just been all over the place. I'm going to start trying to make it as regular as possible. So here we go. I hope you've all been well. I hope you've all been great. It's been a bit cold here, so that's going to cause a lot of issues for some pots people. So tips for the cold, I think we'll start with. Tip number 1, socks. People underestimate the pair of socks. I don't know why. So when I'm really, really cold, I usually keep socks on and have a blanket, like have a quilt. I'm yawning again. That's something else. Just a quick note. When you talk a lot with pots, just a question out there for you lot. Do you start yawning? Because I do. So when I start talking like this, I just start like really yawning, like eating the things around me. It is crazy. Like generally, I'll probably yawn about 20 times for this video. And it always happens every time I like proper yawn. I don't get it. So yeah, just a question for you. Put it down below if you do. That's what I do. It's a bit of a bathroom one. Anyway, when it's cold, socks. And I mean like thick woolly socks. I don't have any around me to show you. But like really, like I don't even have any on right now. But that thick woolly socks always helps. A blanket, always have a blanket around me. Always. I take a blanket everywhere. Well, I used to, when I had my wheelchair, I used to take my blanket and sit on my blanket. Sorry, I look really weird now. I had an itch here. And I won't let this to itch here. Anyway, blanket. So if you're in the house, take a blanket, like wherever you go. I've always got a blanket downstairs. Always got a blanket near me. The yawning again. Always. Good one. Tip number 2, technically, hot drinks. Always, if you really got, even if you don't like hot drinks, I've started having like hot water, which sounds really scary because like my auntie suggested me underage, and she was like, "Oh, have you ever tried hot water? It's like detox." And I was like, "Love a good detox," so I'll try it. Hot water, really nice, like bafflingly nice. Like let it go cold a bit. Obviously, you don't want to just drink like scalding hot water and just like neck it down, but like hot water, it just tastes like water, so really you could put your pop in it. I might try that tomorrow, just hot water with pop in. It'd be nice. And then whatever number it is, I don't know what number we're on, a heater. So our boiler completely broke in the snow and we've got a heater that you plug in. It doesn't take up that much electricity. Like obviously you'd have to see with different ones. We've always had them. They're like, I think they're called allergen heaters maybe, and they are a life. Like I literally felt like we were coupled around them like penguins when it went cold, because they let out hot heat. Or there's like ones where it's like red, like they heat up like the bulbs, and we've always had them and they're so good. Like they keep you warm. Like it's honestly, like when I tell you it's really good, it's really good. And they're cheap, like they don't cost a lot to run, and you can move them around the house, so no matter where you go in your house you can move them, which is great. And then also another tip that I found is, as much as it's really fun to go out in the snow, it is just so cold. So when the snow's falling, it's freezing, like you can go out like for like 10 minutes or so. Like I did go out for like 10 minutes, try to help my mum find like pipes and stuff to defrost it. But I always find if you've got to go out, wear loads of layers. So I had like 4 tops on, 2 scarves. I wore 2 gloves last time it snowed, purely because then you're keeping your body warm. Like I was told by the POTS specialists, like nurses or whatever, I don't know what they were, to keep your abdomen warm. Like I'd never heard of this. Like if you keep your abdomen warm, apparently the rest of you stays warm. I don't know, like I've got a wig that I do wear. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a pink one, and that keeps my head so warm. Like if I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a bit cold today and I fancy a bit of change, I'll wear my wig because it looks cool, it's epic. So that is what I would say. But I always think, if you know when it's going to snow, like if you look at the weather forecast and it's saying it's going to snow for like a week, go out on like the last couple of days, which I know is a bit unpredictable and it's annoying because people like snow and they like all that stuff. And I ain't saying you don't go out. You go out. If you feel good to go out, you go out. But like if you go the last couple of days, it's getting a bit warmer. Do you know what I mean? It's getting a bit warmer, so you're not going to be as cold. Anyway, on to the next thing. Okay, want to join me?
Yeah, I want to send me saving. I just want to sit there. Do you know what?
Well, yeah, but you might just have to pitch in your ideas.
Okay.
This is my mum. The Frill herself. Move over. So, what do we have here? I did see some people talking about tingling feet, hands, basically, all the extremities, and feet and that going to sleep. The way I have found this helps is if you don't sit like normally, if there's a normal way to sit. So you sit like, instead of like if this is the chair and you sit like this with your feet down, I always, wherever I can, put my feet up. Or if you've got a buffet, put them up on there. Unless your knees. I just said that when I start talking,
You start yawning.
probably I start yawning. I've just said like, it's weird. So yeah, whenever you can, sit with your feet up, like elevate, like what they say when you've got like a sprained ankle or something. I always find that helps. And I always think my hands go like tingling more if they're up, which I don't sit like this, obviously, just walking around my face. But like, I think it happens when the blood drains from them. Does that make sense? So probably wearing bands, hair bands around wrists, probably doesn't help anybody in the long run, really. So I think that's a way to help the feet. I don't know how, I wouldn't even know how to suggest to help hands. But I know what you mean, like I have it like sometimes if I lean on my arms, like every time I lean on my arms, but these two fingers and all down my arm goes numb. Every time. Like I get back up and I'm like, because they all go really numb. And I wouldn't even know how that would, like, how you'd fix that. I don't know different ways that would help. I mean, if anyone's got any ideas, please put them forward. But I've never really thought about it. I've just thought, oh, they're going numb again. But slippers, when I'm out and about, I said this in my last one, take slippers. I take slippers everywhere, don't I?
Yeah.
I've even seen these new slipper things that I can't even remember what they're
Everybody
called.
was looking at you, come to the country. I noticed they were doing.
Yeah, I was walking around the O2 full on in slippers, like generally, and everyone was like, oh, what's going on? Oh, like proper looking. And I really don't care, like they weren't even like my fanciest ones, because I was like, I'm not having fancy ones for someone to walk past me and like spill something on them. Let's be real, like it would make me really mad and then it just make me upset. Like generally, so many people were talking to me about it. Like we met someone, wasn't it? What? Ben?
Yeah.
If you're watching, Ben. Oh. And he was talking about circulation, and we were saying to people like, I generally take slippers everywhere, and people don't, it doesn't cross people's mind to do it. It hasn't crossed it, has it? Like, to cross someone's mind to take slippers, not always do it, because it helps with circulation. Well, it helps me anyway, like, if I wear, like, proper shoes tied up, like, usually my Converse. But it happens with any shoes, it's not just my Converse. Oh, these were like the woolly socks I was on about earlier. They're right there. My feet, I always get like a pain. Like as if like, it's like an ache maybe. So that could be the tingling. And if I sit with like my shoes on, like it's a horrible feeling. It's that tingling. So I'd say if you're going out, no matter how stupid you think you look, take slippers. 9 times out of 10 people are like, oh, why did I think of that? Like we had this man in front of us at Country to Country and he was like, slippers, now that's someone who's experienced. And he was like, well, partially yes, but other than that, it's circulation, it just helps. And that's probably what the tingling is. It's because your blood isn't going properly to your hands and it's causing you to have all tingly sensations. Next, I wanted to put it out there, who has, as well as POTS, because I'm curious to know, who has fibromyalgia, lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. I was doing a bit of research earlier and loads of people, when I was looking at like the forums and stuff, were asking if anyone had like fibro or lupus or arthritis, any form of arthritis or stuff like that. Also, I've been doing some research. How many people have had strep and then got POTS? Because I've been looking into strep, and that can cause like memory problems and all that kind of stuff that I've been seeing that I've got. OCD, and then like my dropping things, but it's not like me dropping, it's like my hands are laxing. So if anybody has got that, please let me know and tell me what your experience has been, because I'll be very grateful and very interested. Next one, wheelchairs. Like some people are going, oh, do you have a wheelchair? Like, do some people use it? Does it help? I'm in such a contradictory place about this. Like, it's such a big discussion. I might have to do like a one video about it. But I think wheelchairs are so good when you've just been diagnosed and you generally at the point where you can't move. Don't you think, Mum? Like my wheelchair was so good for me. Like, it was such a lifesaver when
you're stuck in the house.
Yeah, I'd just been diagnosed and I literally wasn't going anywhere because I couldn't move. Like, it was horrible. And then like when I was going places, I was like leaning up walls and I felt so drowsy. And if anything, it improves your quality. It improves your quality of life, so you're not going out and having the worst time ever because you're just thinking about walking and breathing and just getting by. You can enjoy yourself. And honestly, it was such a weight lifted off my shoulders when I first had my chair, because it's like, oh my gosh, I can go out again. I can be as normal as I possibly can, wasn't it? Like, it was like an instant change.
So you were stuck in the house?
I was just constantly stuck in the house. It was my sister's idea for me to have mine. And we went through, I don't know where we went through to get it.
Independent Living Centre.
Yeah, so I don't know whether you'd have to look into like local to you, but we went to the Independent Living Centre and they help with it all, and there's like different things that they can do. And to be honest, there is really good services out there for people who just can't get around, like generally who just can't leave the house to give them a better quality of life.
Big weekend with our term.
No, this is a support group.
I was going to say, you had a big weekend.
I don't think I am tired though, I'm really awake now. Basically, we went to country over the weekend, so that's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I could be a bit tired, but this always happens every time I sit down to do like a talking video. I yawn like crazy. I don't know why. I don't know whether I'm just not breathing as much as I should be, so I'm not getting any oxygen. I mean, that could be what it is. But I'll have some country to country stuff coming up, so look out for that. But that's not what I was talking about. So wheelchair, so I had mine, but then I do think that people become a bit more dependent on it, and I think it's more fear than everything, because you were at the point at the beginning where you couldn't do anything, you couldn't go out, and then the wheelchair helped you so much. But I do think that a step to getting better is trying to walk without your wheelchair. So I had my walker for a while where it had like a seat on it. They'd push it and it has a seat so you can sit down whenever. And honestly, the step from that to then my walker to then taking my stool everywhere now was so good. And honestly, wheelchairs I think are really good for like the bad days, like when you've got like a flu or something, or you generally can't get out when you need to get out, or if you're exhausted. And unless like you physically can't walk, don't push yourself to walk places if you can't walk places, because it's just better quality of life. But at the same time, I think that it's more, I don't know how to word it, but I do think that when you start walking, it's that sense of walking again is great. But then if you've got like joint issues and stuff and other issues as well, and it's not feasible, don't beat yourself up about it, because at the end of the day, you need to do what's best for you. And if that's being in your wheelchair, be in your wheelchair if that gives you a better quality of life. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think that for me personally, when I started walking again, I mean, I still find it hard to this day. Like, to this day, I still stop and have rests. On the way back yesterday, I stopped and had rests. Like, it doesn't stop anything. Like, it just takes longer to get places. But I'm trying so hard, like, not to go back in my wheelchair, because I'm worried it'll set me back, if that makes sense. Like, decondition. But at the same time, if I needed it, I'd use it, because I went out the other day and I said to you, I should have just took it. I was like, I should have brought it, because I was just so exhausted. So I think it's a hard topic really, because it's really different for everyone.
It can help, but it can also hinder.
Yeah, it can push you a lot further back, but then at the same time, there's days when you're going to need it. And then lastly, the letting people down. Like, there's so many people that I see are like, oh, I feel bad because I can't go to this, or I feel like I can't look after, like, people who've got kids are like, oh, well, I don't know what my kids are saying. It's like, you're not letting anyone down. Like, at the end of the day, you are really ill. People who've just got POTS alone, you are really ill. But yet POTS brings so much other things into the equation that it's like, there's no way you're letting someone down. If you can't go somewhere, and I struggle with this myself, like, all the time, like, oh, I want to go, I don't want to let them down. And, like, really beat myself up about it. But at the end of the day, you are a really ill person. Even though you might not seem like it, you might not feel like it, you have got an illness, like, something that's very, like, rare. It's not like you've just got the flu. Well, the flu's serious. Like a common cold, even though that can, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've not just, like, stumped your toe. Do you know what I mean? You've got something that people around you aren't having to deal with. You're not letting anyone down. You're looking after yourself. And like we always say, sometimes you have to be selfish. You've got to be selfish and you've got to look after yourself. Because if you're not going to a party, you're not letting anyone down. If they're your friends and they know you've got an illness, they know that you've tried everything to get there. They're not sitting there thinking, oh, well, I'll tell you, no, they were out yesterday. No one should care if you were out the day before and you can't make it to this one. If that is the case, that is the case. There is nothing you can do about it. And like, kids, if you've got kids out there and you're spending the day in bed and you're upset because you can't do something with them, they know that you've got an illness. And if they don't know, they'll probably have a hindering that you've got something different about you. At the end of the day, you're not letting them down because you're still there for them. Like, if you rest up one day, you could be better another day to do something. You're not letting anyone down. You're amazing people. Think you're chronically ill and you're still living through every single day. That is like an achievement. Like I said in my last video, we are the ice creams and POTS are the sprinkles. You've just got to add the extra flake of hope. And that is how I'm going to end it. That we're all amazing, we're all trying our hardest, and that we're all epic. Do you have anything to say now?
No, it's all, but just, the thing is, you've just got to do what you've got to do. And things can change daily.
Exactly. It's the case of, you are ill, that's just a given, but you can make the most of being ill, if that makes sense. Like, I always say that I'm very grateful to POTS because it changed my outlook on life, it changed how I see things. And I wouldn't have been like that if I didn't have this. So you have to really look at the positives, and that's easy to say, like me sitting here, like, don't know individuals. But I do think you have to know that you are trying your hardest. And if you think you're not, just reflect on your life, see where you can make changes, see where you can do something different to make you happier. So, all the ice creams out there with sprinkles, add your flake, add that flake of hope, the sprinkles are already there, even add a bit of sauce of happiness. And I hope you have an incredible week, hope to see everybody again soon. Oh, I've also started a vlogging channel called The Powers of Vlogs, so if you want to go and check that out, please do, I'll be very grateful. I hope to see you very soon. I hope you're all doing excellent and you've had a wonderful beginning of March, and that POTS is being kind to you all, or any other invisible illness you've got, or any other illness, or if you've got none at all, I hope you're fabulous and that you're doing amazeballs. I'll see you very soon. Yeah, thank you for watching. Remember thoughts. Go say anything more.
Bye.